Hello, Just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I last filmed, and that's partly due to procrastination, partly due to being a little bit under the weather, and partly due to procrastination. But we're here, we're filming, and as luck would have it, I have some time on my hands and I'm in the mood to film. Anyone who's filmed more than say 10 videos, maybe even less than that, will probably tell you that sometimes you're not always in the mood to film, but then you need to try to be consistent, which is not always easy. But the stars have aligned, I feel like filming, and I need to film. Plus I have the time to film. Here we are. I am going to film today with an impulse buy. Normally, when I buy any makeup product, I ponder it deeply. I very rarely buy on a whim. It will most likely be a product I have researched at great length. It will be something where I have looked to see if I can get some kind of discount on it before I pay full price. Just generally a very considered purchase, but I also have the kind of personality where sometimes I'll go, I want that, and I'll buy it. And that is exactly the case with this. So I mean, it's not a new brand to me, it's not a new brand to many of us, it's made by Mitchell. I can show you the front because it's not reflective. So you may have seen this. I saw it pop up on the socials, and it's the, I'll show you the carton, the outside carton, which is that. So it's the Made by Mitchell camera roll palette, which is totally random but kind of cute, and I think that's what sucked me in. I didn't care so much for the colour story. Well, no, not that I don't care so much for the colour story. Like, I do enjoy the colour story. I think it's quite pretty, and that's it there. And so I put it this way, it's a slightly less washed out, but that's the colour story. And funny enough, I think it's quite summery. It's not necessarily a palette colour story that I would associate with this kind of weather. Having said that, there's a whole different hemisphere to the world who is currently experiencing summer. Hard to believe when it's absolutely Baltic in this part of the world, but there are people in Australia and New Zealand and that region of the world who are currently sunning themselves. So this would be an exceptionally appropriate colour story for our cousins over in that part of the world. But I don't know, I was on a TikTok live, and I'm going to get onto TikTok lives in a minute, but this popped up. It was on a discount. It came with like a vanity case thingy, which I guess is kind of cute. I'm not really that fussed. I think I paid £27.50, and I thought, you know what, it's cute, I like it, I'm going to buy it. And as I say, it's very rare that I just go, fuck it, and buy something. So I've done it. And today we're going to do, should I do 2 looks like I normally do? Yeah, I'll do 2 looks. Alright, so I'll just hold it up again so you can see. I haven't swatched these yet, as you know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I haven't yet swatched them, so this will be quite fun to see how they appear on the eyes. But those are the shades, and I am thinking there aren't many shimmers. There's only 3 shimmers in here. That's not many. Oh wait, Dusk is, no, is that a shimmer, or is that a matte with shimmer particles in it? Because I think I've told you guys how I feel about mattes with shimmer particles in there, because there's one of those in the Celestial Charms palette. Spoiler alert, I think they're a complete waste of time. I'm sorry, I do. I might just have to give it a little swatch now just to see. Oh, it's quite dry. Oh, I don't know about that. That's not a shimmer. Point already deducted for that, Mitchell. I don't like those kinds of shades. But now I'm thinking about what I might want to do if I do indeed go for 1 look on each eye. Do I want to experiment with an all matte look? I don't know, but I'm drawn anyway to Twilight, Fiery Coast and Eclipse, so I feel like I'm going to use those. And I think I'll start with Fiery Coast, and I will put that in the crease. I haven't used a proper Made by Mitchell palette. Well, I haven't purchased a proper Made by Mitchell palette since I got Head in the Clouds and Feet on the Ground. And I remember I dug into them earlier on this year when I did a bit of a full face of Made by Mitchell, because I got the Truth Tint and the Bulk Balm and a few other bits and pieces, and I thought it might be quite nice just to do a full face of the brand, seeing as that was possible to do at that point. And I wasn't keen on the formula. I think that they're palettes that maybe I'll have to dig out again and see. But I almost feel that for like nostalgic purposes, I wouldn't want to get rid of them. It's not a bad orange. It's not a bad orange. I had wondered if it might be a bit brighter, but that's not bad. And this is a Refa number 1, by the way, which is now stained with the orange that I've just used. I feel like I might have to, you know, sometimes you get older palettes that you own that you start to neglect because you're just getting newer and newer stuff, and the newer stuff is shiny and new. So that's kind of what you tend to gravitate towards. So some of my older palettes have been perhaps a bit neglected. Right, let's see, where's my Refa 14? So now I'm going in with Twilight. So that's Twilight there, right next to the orange in the corner. And I'm just going to see if I can use that to go around the edges of Fiery Coast a little bit. That's quite well, not pigmented, but that was a lot of pickup. I'm yet to find a yellow, and I mean, I guess this isn't your typical yellow, but I'm yet to find one that has majorly impressed me. I'm on the hunt still for a popping yellow. TikTok shop has got a lot to answer for, isn't it? I think that I'm probably going to have to unfollow Made by Mitchell on TikTok, because they're always on lives and I always feel tempted to buy stuff. And as I say, normally I do, when I purchase most things, really, it's a very considered purchase. I think about it, I do the research, I ask other people where I can. It's very rare that I just buy something, but there's something about TikTok when you're on the live and they're pushing these products at you, and there's people commenting saying, oh, I've just bought this, or I bought this in the last live and it's amazing, and just go, okay, I'll buy it. I've had a few occasions actually where I've bought something and within 30 minutes I thought to myself, what have you done that for? And I've cancelled. I have cancelled. But I know that there are some people who are buying things on the TikTok shop and they're leaving it until items have been dispatched before they cancel, and it's causing a lot of problems for people who have got shops on TikTok. So much so that some people, I think, are abandoning TikTok shop. I think VE Cosmetics, I think they're a brand who have closed down their TikTok shop because they were just losing money basically of people cancelling after dispatch. I at least had the courtesy to cancel before that point. So I have done that once or twice. Generally, I would describe myself as being someone who's got pretty good willpower, but there's just something about TikTok shop, and I've got to say, knowing I'm someone who's got pretty strong willpower and I can 9 times out of 10 say nope, maybe even 9.9 times I can say no, I feel it for people who are easily influenced, because it could be so easy to just sit on your phone on TikTok shop, filling up your basket and just buying all these things and almost not even thinking about it until it all shows up on your doorstep or you get your credit card bill. So TikTok shop is dangerous. In this world, I think, where it's full of people that overconsume, and I'm guilty of that when it comes to makeup. Makeup is a guilty pleasure of mine. I love it. I enjoy experimenting with it and playing with it and the fun things that you can do with it. So I will fully hold my hands up to being an overconsumer when it comes to makeup. And while I fully hold my hands up to being one of those people who's an overconsumer, I do still have a line. There's a line, and I feel like I don't go over that line, and I'll never get to the point where I'm purchasing and it's putting me in financial difficulty. And I know that that is somewhere that people end up being in these scenarios, and TikTok is an environment that I think fuels that. And I think, like, I don't know what rules and what kind of caps they can put on for TikTok, because I dread to think how many people have racked up substantial amounts of debt just through TikTok shop, and how quick and easy it is. Like, it's like QVC on your phone, isn't it? It's even easier because I think it's modernized. I'm just thinking of those info adverts that you get. And I'm talking and I'm not putting any makeup on you. I can't seem to multitask. I might go back in with my 14, and now we're going in with Eclipse, which is that red. I'm just wondering if TikTok should have caps in place, or maybe even settings that you can implement yourself, where you have a limit, like a monthly limit that you can spend. I mean, TikTok's not going to want to do that, are they? Because they want as much money as they possibly can from you. But I do wonder if they should have like a restriction setting that you can put on there that doesn't allow you to spend over a certain amount, and stops you from buying something if it's going to sort of take you over your budget. That's not bad. Look, I'm trying to think in my head, what are my thoughts on the formula? I mean, it seems to be blending pretty well. And this is coming from someone who is not an expert blender. But that's quite a nice little gradient that's going on there. I think I'd want the shades to be more punchy. I was thinking to myself I was going to do an all matte look, but who am I kidding? I'm not going to do an all matte look. I think that Shepherd's Delight and Sandcastles actually would look quite nice in here. I really wish there were more shimmers. 3 shimmers in a palette is, out of 15, that's not a lot at all. Alright, let's try Finger first, and we're going to do Shepherd's Delight. That's a bit lackluster. But sometimes you do have to break through that top layer. That's a bit better. Let's get my brand new toys out. My silicone brushes. This one's ginormous. But yeah, let's try that one. Yeah, I don't like this shimmer. I can't speak on the rest of the shimmers in here yet, but I'm not keen on this one. And I feel as though, in fact, let me zoom you in. I should have probably zoomed you in a bit earlier. But I feel as though, I don't know if you can see that, it's like it's deposited loads there and I'm struggling to even it out across the lid. Okay, so I'm using my Refa number 1 and I've wet it. I've just used a bit of setting spray to do that. I think that's better, but I'm still not in love with this shimmer formula. It's not spreading as much as I would like it to, or as easily. No, don't like that at all. Let's try Sand Castles. And we're going to put that inside. See, do I prefer Sand Castles? I think I might do. Yeah, Sand Castles is better, but I'm still not overly keen. I'm beginning to understand why they only put 3 of these in this palette. I don't like them. I don't like them. Let's move on to the other eye, and we are going to use those bluey tones. I think I'll keep it quite monochromatic, and we're just going to use these, that sort of grey, that blue, and then these blues. So the grey is called Overcast, the blue next to it is Crashing Waves, the shimmer is called Blue Skies, and the very dark blue is called Horizon. So on my 15 I've picked up some Overcast, and I'm going to put that on the crease, kind of grey, which makes sense because the shade is called Overcast. Cleaning off my 14, and now I'm picking up Crashing Waves, which is, I mean, you've got the shade Blue Skies, which is the shimmer, but Crashing Waves is a matte version almost, because I'd say that was a sky blue colour. Yeah, so I'm not too keen on that Overcast shade, but that's fine. I mean, it's kind of like an off-white grey, so it's not the most striking of shades. And then we're going in with Horizon, still on my Refa 14, and let's put that on the outer V area and start to bring it in ever so slightly. I'm thinking this is one of those where I should have started with Horizon and drawn out the shape and then blended it out. Because I feel like it's skipping a little bit, it's not blending the best. Which happens sometimes, it does. I think some shadows allow you to build from light to dark easily, others the other way around, and you've also almost got to get used to the formula to know which way's which. I don't know, I almost feel like I kind of suck today at applying shadow. So So I don't know if that's a me or me needing to experiment with the formula to see if it's better the other way around. Right, I'm going to go in with the 13 now and back into Crashing Waves. I am struggling today. Okay, and then with a finger on this side, which is clean, let's put on Blue Skies, which is that sky blue shimmer. I mean, we have been spoilt when it comes to shimmers in palettes lately, and these just, for me, are not cutting it. There's no oomph. Where's the oomph? Where's the sparkle? I don't even think it's picking up that well on the silicone applicator, which is mad. Okay, that's just terrible. That is god awful. I mean, I'll have to try this again just to see if it's me, because this could be human error, but I just, not even the silicone applicator's picking that up. I'm going to finish off my face and do the bottom, like do my under eyes and stuff, and then I'll kind of come back and we'll see what we end up with. But yeah, let me go and tidy this up and do my under eyes, and then I'll come back. Okay, I finished off the eye look off camera. Funnily enough, after berating that green shade and saying how I don't like mattes with shimmer in there, I think that might be one of the redeeming shades in the palette. I actually really like that green. And I know that this is very much like the Haunted Europe look that I've just done, but I just think orange and green go really nicely together, and I wanted to use that green. I wanted to test it. So that's what that looks like. And this is the finished blue side. For my inner corner on both eyes, I've just gone in with my Tiger palette and I've used this highlighter here. I really like going in with that as my inner corner highlight if I'm missing something that I think is suitable. So these are the two looks. You'll have to let me know what you think, and I'll zoom you out to let you know what I think, but I think you've probably guessed the tone by now. So before I get into it, let me start by saying that just in case this ends up going down a really harsh route, because I haven't exactly pre-planned what I'm going to say, I really rate Made by Mitchell products. His curve case, phenomenal. I've got some of his highlighters in front of me, the blush pressed highlighters, really enjoy those. I like his lipsticks, I like his blushes, all the different varieties, so that, because they're multi-use, you can use them on your cheeks, you can use them on your eyes, like drip drip on your eyes is stunning. I like his Bulk Balm, I like his Truth Tint, though I have stated I don't actually like them together even though they're designed to go together. So all in all, I really enjoy Made by Mitchell products. This might be one of the first duds I've tried. I will be trying this again because I want to give it a fair shot. I know that sometimes with makeup you can go wrong and it will be based on human error. So I'm going to try and give it the benefit of the doubt here and say that maybe it's a bit of human error here. But I'm just used to shadows blending a little bit more easily, and that's the mattes, and the shimmers popping more. if I'd taken note of the fact there were only 3 shimmers in this palette, I don't think I'd have bought it. And this is the issue with impulse buying. If I had researched this the way I normally research products, I 100% would not have bought it. And this is what I mean about TikTok. You get into this rabbit hole and you panic buy stuff. Sometimes I have the good sense to cancel before it'll dispatch, but other times they just land on my doorstep, as with this, and lo and behold, first impressions, I don't like it. Of the shades that I tried, as I say, I think that green shade is probably one of my favourites. The 3 mattes in here are, quite frankly, shite. I'm sorry, they are. I don't know if you can see this. I'll zoom you back in because I didn't point it out and I'll see if I can get a bit closer myself. I haven't even finished off my face, by the way, because I'm washing this right off and I'm going to film another video after this. And I thought I was going to resent having to wash my face to film a second video, and I don't at all, because I really do not like how this looks. From a distance it looks okay, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera. And maybe this is because I've tried different techniques to get that shimmer shade, what's it called? Shepherd's Delight, to work. But I don't know if you can see that it's really skippy. So I've used my finger, I think I've used a silicone applicator, and then I've sprayed a brush to try and see if any of those go-to techniques that you tend to use to get shimmers to pop or to apply and be more impactful would work. And it's made a mess. I don't think you can tell. You'll have to let me know if you can see it, but when I look really closely in the mirror, it's just kind of skipped and it's clumpy and it's kind of held on in certain areas. And when I've used the shimmer in the past and I've used the different techniques on my lid that you tend to use to get a shimmer to stick and to pop on your lid, I've never had it clump in this way and be goopy. And I'll see if I can take a picture, because I just don't know if the camera is capturing this, but it's like there's full-on chunks of orange that have adhered to my eyelid, and it just doesn't look the best. I think it's a cute little colour story, and I think I was kind of sucked in by the concept, but it's just not a good palette. And as I say, take that with a pinch of salt, because I think I do need to use it again just to see. But even when I've done a quick swatch on my arm of some of the shades in here, I don't know. So as I say, I haven't done swatches yet. I'm gonna film the swatches after I've done this bit, and I'll tag them in at the end. But yeah, disappointed in that, I've got to say. There are obviously a few shades in here that I haven't tried. And I mean, maybe Blue Skies has performed better because I didn't wet my brush. I just used my finger. I tried to use a silicone applicator, but even the silicone applicator couldn't pick that up. So I went back to using my finger, and I just kind of went over and over it to try and get it to build. But I guess as I say, you know, just looking head on, it looks all right, but I'm just not happy with it, which is a shame. Like, I love that colour combination, and I'll definitely do this again. I mean, I've just done it. I've told you I've just done it in Haunted Europe, but I really like this colour combination, and I almost feel like putting this green has saved this eye for me, because I think I would have hated it if I had gone in and sort of finished off with any of the shades I'd used on top. Maybe if I'd gone in with the orange in the way that I've gone in with the blue under my eye on this side. But yeah, I think from now on this palette may end up being a cautionary tale for me. Whenever I get the urge to buy something on a whim, whether it be in general or most likely from the TikTok shop, I'm going to think of this palette. And I'm going to remember how disappointed I was when I used it. And I'm hoping that that disappointment and slight rage, I'm not going to lie, at myself mainly, for getting sucked in, I'm going to try and remember this feeling and not succumb to this in the future. This is the perils of TikTok, the danger of TikTok, making us spend our hard-earned cash on duds like this. But as I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again. But unlike with something like, say, Celestial Charm, where it grew on me a little bit, I'm not sure I see this happening. But watch this space. This, yeah, we'll come back to this. We will. So that was an odd one for me. A very odd one. I hope you found that useful. If you've been eyeing this palette up, my advice would be don't. Just leave it well alone. Unless it goes on sale on TikTok shop for like a £5, which is not beyond the realms of possibility. I have seen some major price slashes going on TikTok, especially now it's Black Friday. If it goes down to a £5, would I pay a £5 for it? I mean, I don't know if I would do that. Do you know, I mean, it's cute. And I think the other thing that sucked me in, and I haven't even shown you this, is so you can put a picture in here. This should be in this. I'm a terrible YouTuber. This should be an intro thing, but you can actually put a picture in this bit, and then on the back it's got like a little flap, so you can actually put a picture in, and you can, I mean, I don't know why you'd want to have an eyeshadow palette displayed in that manner, but if you wanted to, you could, and then you could just have it like on your bedside table. You know, maybe you wake up first thing in the morning and before you even get out of bed you want to put this on your face. I mean, I don't know why you want to do that, but you've got that option too. So in that aspect, it's cute. So maybe just as a photo frame, it'd be worth it just to use it as a photo frame for a £5. Yeah, I'd buy it for a £5. As an eyeshadow palette, perhaps not so much, no. Harsh, possibly, but true. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope that you found this video useful, and I also hope to see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Take care. Bye. I am back, and as promised, here are the swatches. And as you can see, I mean, it's a cute colour story. And that's what caught my eye initially, the cute colour story and the cute packaging. Can you tell that I've swatched this in such a way as to put my favourite colour across the bottom there? I mean, it does help that it's the last shade in the palette, whichever way you swatch it. But it kind of does end up having centre stage, which I think is just. On swatching them, and I know that swatches only tell a very small portion of the story, but the mattes are very dry. I think the most pleasant matte to swatch was actually that pink shade, and I'm not normally a pink fan, so maybe when I give this another go I will find a way to incorporate that pink. You can tell from swatching the shimmers that they're not the best. You'll have to let me know what you think, but personally I think you can tell from the swatches that the shimmers are perhaps not going to perform the best. But I mean, that's my view. Those are the swatches. So I just wanted to come back and show you those. But sometimes there's... I don't even know what my point was. What was I trying to say there?